Ariel was diagnosed when she was 8 years old with ALL. When your child is diagnosed with cancer, it's devastating for the family, and for months we were numb, unable to process information.
You have so many questions and you don't know who to turn to.
Well, I didn't even really know I had anything at all. I didn't even know what the leukemia was. Usually when the kids get cancer, it makes them more mature, because they have to be able to grasp things, and they know what's going to happen to them.
What eventually does happen to people with cancer largely depends on what happens here. In research laboratories worldwide, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is fostering a one-of-a-kind team approach to fulfilling its mission to cure blood cancers and improve the quality of life for patients and their families.
One of the most exciting aspects of this work is to hear about agents that we've taken all the way through from the bench into the bedside and can see and hear about patients that are benefiting from that.
Dr. Gary Gilliland's work is supported by one of the Society's Specialized Centers of Research, or SCORE program. It is a unique collaborative model that funds teams of scientists from independent research facilities for a minimum of 5 years. Key to the program is the mix of scientific disciplines needed to keep the research advancing swiftly, with everything from scientific core laboratories to clinical trials with patients. Dr. James Griffin leads this center.
We've been extremely fortunate to obtain one of the first SCORE grants, which has greatly accelerated the work in developing new therapies.
The SCORE Center, where Drs. Griffin and Gilliland's labs unite their efforts with other research labs and clinicians, is focused on developing new therapies for acute myelogenous leukemia. Their work on FLT3 inhibitors is seeing some promising results.
Our goal in AML was to identify the cause of the disease genetically and then to try to develop treatments that were like magic bullets that specifically targeted those genes. And that's what FLT3 inhibitors are. It's difficult to get support for some of the preliminary parts of the work, and the translational components where you try to take drugs and move them through into clinical trials is not as well supported by the federal funding agencies as we might hope. So the Leukemia Lymphoma Society has been very helpful for us in trying to develop those inhibitors. We've seen some very impressive responses in patients.
The Society has a stringent review process that seeks to fund the best science worldwide. Dr. Charles Sawyers, one of the pioneering researchers who identified Gleevec, is among a team of 120 top scientists who voluntarily assist the Society in awarding grants.
These donations, collectively account for millions and millions of grant dollars that are really carefully reviewed. It's the most streamlined, efficient operation, and we fund the very best people in the field.
Ultimately, inspired researchers and the work they do make the difference between life and death for people battling cancer. Ariel is now celebrating the 1-year anniversary of her remission.
At the end, it finally comes, even though it seems like it never will. And it's over, and you're just so happy, and then it was worth everything.
Ariel was a warrior, and still is. She was amazing.
Saving lives is paramount, but until cures are found, the Society is also dedicated to ensuring that patients and families get the help they need throughout their cancer journey. One of the Society programs that helped the Wiener family was First Connection, which brings patients with a new diagnosis together with someone who has faced the same challenges.
Many patients find it helpful to network with someone else who has a similar diagnosis.
I think to just have someone who has some experience with this and who could relate to what you're going through at the time is so powerful and so meaningful.
Tell her that you're interested in the First Connection program.
First Connection is a great program because you can just have that contact immediately.
Knowing what to expect from a cancer diagnosis wasn't just important to Carolyn and Charlie.
I wanted to know what was going to happen to me, and I didn't want any secrets keeping kept from me, no matter how horrible it was, because I would want to know.
We took advantage of the Society's patient services. That information really helped shape many of the visits that we had to Ariel's doctors. They go a long way to making a family feel like there is light at the end of the tunnel.
These programs are made possible through the generosity of families like the Anbinders and through the thousands of people who participate in society events each year. After Helen Anbinder was diagnosed with CLL, there was only one organization that she thought was worthy of her family's donation.
The most exciting support that I've gotten has been from my husband's brother and his wife. They told me that they wanted to make a significant donation in my honor, and they wanted me to select the recipient. And I didn't hesitate. I said I wanted to be the Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
Helen contacted the Westchester Hudson Valley chapter directly, who put her in touch with the Senior Vice President of Research for the Society.
He presented to me all kinds of possible research projects that could be funded. And he told me which he thought were most promising in terms of leading to clinical trials. I even said to my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, none of this is likely to help me, but it might help patients in the future.
So imagine Helen's surprise when she learned that the new drug in her treatment had been developed by the very same researcher who received the grant from Helen's family.
I just felt it was so moving that I could benefit from that researcher who was being funded by the donation in my honor. Might be helping me now. That's very exciting.
I take my hat off to the Society. They've done a great job. They've had a vision, they've stuck to their mission, they've changed over time in terms of what they fund because they figured out what was necessary.
The dollars make a difference. People think of research, they're not connected to it, but the bottom line is that it's saving lives.
It's wonderful now to be able to look forward with optimism, and I thank the Society for that.